Several media outlets announced in June 2022 that China would establish a military base at Cambodia's Ream naval base, situated on the southernmost tip of Cambodia. It is reported that China is constructing a community in Vietnam. On the other hand, the United States of America has become concerned about these building collaborations. Keep watching until the end of this video to have an understanding of the issues surrounding it, as well as the reasons why China participates in these projects. During the DGI London conference on February 28th, the geospatial intelligence business Black Sky provided several details on building a covert naval staging facility for Chinese military vessels located off the coast of Cambodia. Not only will this be China's second staging location outside of its borders, but it also presents a challenge to Cambodia's neighbors in the neighborhood. In addition, establishing such a facility would enable China to project its influence further in the event of a future conflict with Taiwan. Satellite imagery was broadcast by Radio Free Asia on February 22nd, documenting the magnitude of the development that had taken place at the port of Ream between July 1, 2022 and January 28, 2023. The picture detailed the construction of new buildings and the removal of significant land. In addition, Radio Free Asia provided information on the building of 2 new piers, underlining that they appear to be temporary ones to ferry in construction materials and equipment and not naval piers for warships. According to specialists acquainted with the location, however, this allegation is untrue. They state that further building has been carried out recently to expand one of these piers. The capacity that this pier offers is not only superior to the standards that are necessary for transporting building materials, but it also satisfies the requirements that are necessary for providing service to China's warships. The satellite imagery reveals that the pier extends into seas deep enough to accommodate aircraft carriers and that columns have been stretched to a length suitable to anchor big naval warships. Phnom Penh vehemently disputed the charges, which replied by stating that allowing access to the base would violate Cambodia's constitution. Reports started to surface in the previous year that China was leasing a dock on the island of Ream, located off the coast of Sihanoukville. The testimony of U.S. officials who had seen an early draft of a contract between Cambodia and China was published in the Wall Street Journal in July 2022. The arrangement would enable China to utilize the facility for 30 years, during which time it could store weapons, deploy military personnel, and dock warships. Over the last several years, many stories have suggested the likelihood of Chinese forces being stationed in Cambodia. 2019 saw the publication of a story by the Wall Street Journal that detailed an alleged covert agreement that would let Chinese soldiers be stationed at the Ream naval facility. During the same year, a tourist development project that the Chinese constructed in the province of Koh Kong in Cambodia raised concerns that the Chinese military may employ the airport runway and deepwater port. In addition, relations between Cambodia and the United States have deteriorated as connections with Beijing have strengthened. In response to American proposals to assist in funding the renovation of the Ream naval facility, Phnom Penh has declined the offers. At the beginning of 2017, Cambodia stopped joint military exercises with the United States unilaterally and instead started conducting drills with China's People's Liberation Army. According to Sofal Ir, an assistant dean and associate professor at the Thunderbird School of Global Management at Arizona State University, the Cambodian government is now entrenched in its relationship with Beijing to the point where it would be unwise to reverse its course. China is Cambodia's most important geopolitical ally and the country's major investor. They have the backing of China to maintain their rule since they had committed to an agreement many years ago. The day when China and Vietnam reached an agreement to establish a community with a common destiny and geopolitical importance is here. The two parties have announced the new positioning of relations between the two parties and countries. Upon Xi's arrival in Hanoi, he met with Nguyen Phu Trong. During their conversation, Xi expressed his belief that the two parties should recognize the unique strategic significance of China-Vietnam relations and make significant advancements in constructing a China-Vietnam community with a shared future. This was done to bolster the socialist forces in the world and ensure the consistent and long-term advancement of their respective causes of socialist construction. There are 6 points that Xi mentioned in his proposal to construct a community between China and Vietnam that would have a shared destiny. The first of these points is to maintain the correct political path. President Xi stated, China and Vietnam should uphold high-level strategic guidance, enhance mutual learning and exchanges on party and state governance, and collaboratively expand understanding of the laws governing communist parties, socialist construction, and the advancement of human society. He also said that the two sides should make the protection of national political security their top priority, that the red flag of socialism should not be altered, and that they should try to avoid, neutralize, and contain any political and security concerns. China hopes that Vietnam will continue to help China fight foreign intervention and firmly promote the great goal of national reunification. The next point is that China firmly supports Vietnam in preserving social stability and ethnic unity. According to Xi, the two nations need to raise the level of their practical collaboration, adding that China is prepared to share chances and seek shared development with its Vietnamese comrades. He said that the modernization encompassing the whole population of more than 1.4 billion Chinese people is a magnificent opportunity that China has provided to the globe. In addition, the Vietnamese side's active alignment with the 8 key initiatives to promote high-quality Belt and Road cooperation is appreciated, according to Xi, who also called for growing collaboration in developing fields, including the digital economy and green development. According to him, the two parties need to work together to implement the regional comprehensive economic partnership, protect the global trade system, and construct a global industrial and supply chain that is safe, stable, uninterrupted, efficient, open, inclusive, and mutually profitable. He went on to say that China would continue to support Chinese businesses capable of doing business and investing in Vietnam, and that China hopes Vietnam will offer a favorable environment for Chinese companies to operate in, a stronger understanding of a China-Vietnam community with a shared future, and of the traditional friendship between the two parties and countries should be fostered by the two sides, along with increased cooperation in youth and tourism at the local level. Xi said that bilateral cooperation should focus on agriculture, education, healthcare, and other fields related to people's livelihoods. The extraordinary development successes of China and Vietnam are the product of the hard effort of both sides and an open and inclusive world, particularly a peaceful and stable Asia-Pacific. Xi pointed out that China and Vietnam should work closely together on international and regional problems. He also said that the exceptional development achievements of the two nations are the consequence of both of these factors. China does not engage in exclusive cliques, bloc politics, or camp confrontation, according to Xi. He stated that China is prepared to strengthen multilateral cooperation with Vietnam, and that China is willing to work with Vietnam to uphold genuine multilateralism, as well as to increase the voice and influence of developing countries in international affairs. Additionally, Xi urged the two nations to work together to resolve their disputes about marine problems. He went on to say that the two parties had to engage in active discussion and carry out a greater number of maritime cooperation projects, work toward promoting joint maritime development, and transform the obstacles offered by maritime concerns into possibilities for bilateral collaboration. Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below on what China's goals are concerning these projects, and if these projects are nothing more than a cover for the impending confrontation in Taiwan. And that wraps things up. We appreciate you watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.